Oh man. All right. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, for allowing me to make this very video. Yahweh being the true name of the Most High, Bahashem meaning in the name of, and Yahweh Shai being the true name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. A dark-skinned man with white and woolly hair coming back to violently remove Esau, Edom, the so-called white man out of power, and to take down the kingdoms of the heathen. Right? And we praise the Most High in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai. In the ancient Paleo-Hebrew tongue, all right, our language that we discontinue from, and we praise the Most High in the name of his Son because we can't go directly to the Most High. We need the Son, right? But this video, all right, we're going to be talking about the kingdom of heaven. Specifically, we're going to be talking about this video that I came across on, YouTube Shorts. And you got this channel, End Times Armory, obviously a Christian channel, reposted this video of this dude here. Now, this dude here with the cap, complete fucking moron. And the Lord's going to kill this dude, man. Okay? Simply put. And everybody like him that find themselves to be apologists against the Israelites or whatever the case may be. But it's so crazy how a lot of people truly, terribly do not understand the scriptures. They err, all right, not knowing the scriptures. As Yahweh Shah said to those wicked-ass Sadducees, right? Ye do err, not knowing the scriptures, right? So I'm going to play the video, and notice in the caption, right, put Revelation 5 and 9 through 10 refutes racism. Now, we see racism all throughout the Bible, right? We see when you go into the word racism, the etymology, right, the study of the word racism, you trace it back to its root. It means above. Now, you already know where to go from there, right? The Most High set Israel above all nations. Above. That's racism, man. All right? The Lord said, you only, Israel, have I known of all families on the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for your sins. So that's racism in the flesh. Right? And those are the same scriptures that Paul is teaching. Paul believed everything written in the Old Testament. That he said out of his own mouth in Acts 24. And he showed it through his works by quoting the Old Testament probably over 100 times. Calculated times. You see? So, I mean, this is just fucking ridiculous. I'm going to play the video pertaining to the kingdom of heaven, right? Now, basically, this dude is going to say that in the kingdom of heaven, is basically a rulership of many different types of people. Chinese people, ancient people, quote-unquote black people. It's a rulership of many different people, right, in the kingdom of heaven, which is so, this is why, being in the truth, man, is very vexing, because you find yourself getting angry all the time. Either you're angry, there's something you're going to be angry about. Something. Either you're conditioned in the world, and not in the world as in you're in the world. You're conditioned like, as you're living your life. Either that, or just dealing with the fact that, like we are kings in a fallen estate, or just dealing with scoffers, or just dealing with niggas preaching false doctrine, or one of these proud-ass women. It's something that's going to anger you. And you find yourself in this loop of headaches, migraines, constant, man, because of stupid banana-headed niggas like this. That's the most stupidest shit I've heard in my life. The kingdom of heaven is a rulership. Let's look up that word rulership. What a complete fucking idiot. Etymology, the word rulership. Like, what a dumbass, man. Rulership, a native English combination of the noun ruler, singular, and the suffix ship. Ruler comes from the late 14th century. Noun ruler, one who governs. To the Latin regular, a straight stick bar. To keep straight, guide, govern. All right, but I mean, we know what a rulership is, right? Indo-European root, right, and king, right. But you know what a rulership is. But let's get into the video. Let me just play the video, man. And then they use Revelation 5. We're gonna deal with that, right? Too easy. They don't understand Revelation 5, not just Revelation 5 and 9. The entire book of Revelation, from chapter 1 to 22, it repeats the Old Testament. That's a mystery a lot of these niggas don't get. All you gotta do is go back to where it's repeating it, man. But let's play the video.
The kingdom that have that rulership is made up of all types of nations. But then they sang a new song saying, "Worthy are you to take the scroll and to open its seals, because you were slain and purchased for God with your blood." So how are we purchased? How are we saved? By the blood of Christ, by the blood of the Lamb. Okay. And he says,
and this idiot doesn't even realize that's not new language. Nigga, Isaiah 52. See, I'm not gonna jump the gun. I want to do this in order, but it's just like, how stupid can you be? It's repeating the Old Testament, man. He purchased with his blood Jerusalem, man. Redeeming them back to the Most High. Let me finish the video.
With your blood, people from every tribe, every tongue, nation, and people. The kingdom.
Right, and they stumble at that too. Every nation, kindred, and tongue. What a dumbass. But nonetheless, let's deal with this, right? So first, he said that the kingdom of heaven is made up of many different rulerships. This shows us they don't know prophecy. Let's go to Luke 21. All right. Luke 21. The kingdom of heaven is made up of many different rulerships. What a dumbass, man. Luke 21 and 24. Red letter to the Messiah, prophesying of the destruction of 70 AD. And they, the Israelites, shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem, the Holy Land, right, shall be trodden down of the Gentiles. So the literal ethnic Gentiles are going to be living in Jerusalem. How long? Until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Okay? And we're still in the time of the Gentiles. That's what I want to, focus in on. In this verse, I want to hone in on this part that I'm going to highlight. The times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, right? What are the times of the Gentiles? Daniel chapter 2. The time of the Gentiles is the rulership, right, of the four major Gentile empires that will rule the earth before the second coming of Yahushua, of the Messiah, right? Now, when the New Testament starts, we're already in the fourth empire, the last empire. That's how and why we've been in the last days since Yahushua was on the scene, right? Hebrews, okay? Hebrews, the first chapter, verse 2. This is Paul, right? Hath in these last days, right? In these last days spoken unto us by his son. Wait, in these last days. So we've been in the last days since the book of Hebrews was written. Since the time of the Messiah. How? Because in the New Testament, we're already in the fourth empire. The last empire before his second coming. The time of the Gentiles. And those four empires specifically were Babylon, Persia, Greece, and Rome. That's the time of the Gentile. The times of the Gentiles to be ruling. Right? So when you go back to Daniel chapter 2, right? Let's go to Daniel chapter 2, right? After the rulership, after the time of the Gentiles, right? After that rulership of the four major empires of the Gentiles, literal Gentiles, right? After that rulership, which we're still in the time of the Gentiles, man. Yahushua didn't come back yet. We're still in that time period, man. We're just at the end of it. We're in the last empire. The feet and the toes, right? When you read Daniel 2 in its entirety, Nebuchadnezzar saw the statue, right? The head of gold, the chest of bronze, the however it may have went, right? Legs of iron, feet and toes of clay and miry clay, right? The head of gold in Babylon, the first empire, and the second empire, the third empire, and the fourth empire, right? After those four empires, the rock was cut out of the mountain, right? And then it smashed the entire statue in pieces. What the fuck is that talking about, right? Yahushua coming back to take them out of power. So this nigga is saying that the kingdom of heaven is basically the literal heathen ruling with Israel when the Messiah is coming to take them out of power. That don't make sense. He's going to take the heathen out of power and then put them back in power? What a dumbass. Daniel 2:44. And in the days of these kings. Stop. In the days of these kings. After the time of the Gentiles. After those four major empires. Shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Yahushua's kingdom. Jacob's kingdom. And the kingdom shall not. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. There's no Gentiles ruling with Israelites, dummy. It's not going to be left to other people. They're not going to rule with us. What are you talking about? So again, they don't know prophecy. But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. Yahushua is coming back to take the heathen out of power, to smash in pieces the statue. And it shall stand forever. Verse 45. For as much as thou, Nebuchadnezzar, right? Daniel's talking to Nebuchadnezzar. He's breaking down his dream, right? Sawest that the stone, Yahushua, was cut out of the mountain without hands. And that the stone, Yahushua, what did he do? break in pieces the iron, that's the Roman Empire, the brass, I'm pretty sure the brass, that's the Persians, the clay, that's what we're in the clay right now, America, Babylon the Great, which is the revived Roman Empire. The silver and the gold is Babylon. I may have got the coloring wrong, but you can just reread it. The gold is definitely Babylon, the iron is the ancient Roman Empire, the clay, we're in there right now. So Yahushua coming back to break in pieces the entire thing, to take the heathen out of power. The great God hath made known to the king, Nebuchadnezzar, what shall come to pass hereafter. And the dream is certain and the interpretation thereof sure. So what is this nigga talking about? Like, do you see why we want to fucking hurt these niggas? So stupid, man. Haggai chapter 2. Yahushua is coming to take the heathen out of power that's been ruling for fucking eons, 2,000 years. And when you read the Bible, you can trace the rulership of these four major empires because Israel was captive under each of these empires. Okay? So you can trace it. Haggai 2:21. Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, nuclear destruction, right? So this is future prophecy. And I will do what? Overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, because they are the ones in rulership, specifically Esau, right? Let's get 2nd Ezra. You're gonna need a couple tabs for this video. 2nd Ezra 16, oh, excuse me, not 16, 6, right? 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, right? And it reads, for Esau, which we know the so-called white man, is the end of the world. The word world means age. He's the end of the age, meaning what? He's going to be that last empire, the fourth empire, the last empire, the last beast, the last horn. Okay? He's the end of the world. He's the last empire out of those four, which how we know the Romans were Edomites. Okay? He's the end of the world. Okay? So Yahushua come out to take Esau out of power. And Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. It didn't say Jacob and the Gentiles. Jacob, his kingdom comes after. Right? Psalm 75:7. The Lord takes down one empire and sets up another in their stead. The scripture, Paul said everything written was written for our learning. When Babylon ruled, it was Babylon alone. The Most High took down Babylon and set up Persia. It was Persia alone. The Most High took down Persia and set up Greece. It was Greece alone. What do you notice, right? It's a pattern. The Most High does not set up multiple nations to rule at one time. It's one nation rules. They get their rulership. The Most High pull them down, sets up another kingdom. Esau is the end of the world. The Most High set up Esau, Edom. And Jacob comes after, one after another. So the one nation ruling in the kingdom of heaven is Jacob. And we're going to prove this. We're going to prove this. So Esau is the end of the world. So he's that last empire, the fourth. 1 Corinthians 15 and 24. Then cometh the end. Esau is the end. The white man is the end. When he, Yahushua, shall have delivered up the kingdom to God, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule, all authority and power. Yahushua is coming back to take the heathen out of power, to take Esau, which is in power right now, to take him out of power, right? Isaiah 63. Verse 1, who is this that cometh from Edom? Modern day Edom is America, Babylon. Let's jump down to verse 6. And I will tread down the people, the Edomites, in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth, because they're ruling right now. Isaiah 26, verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. Esau, Edom is on high. He's on the throne right now. The lofty city, proud. He layeth it low. He layeth it low even to the ground. To the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. Isaiah 47. Come down and sit in the dust, O daughter of Babylon. The Edomites who rule over the daughter of Babylon. America. You see? What Isaiah 25 say, man? It's like, this is fucking ridiculous. You niggas are stupid, man. Right? Verse 5. Thou shalt bring down the noise of strangers as the heat in a dry place, even the heat with the shadow of a cloud. The branch of the terrible ones, Esau, Edom, Jeremiah 49 and 16, shall be brought low. They're being brought low because they're on high already, man. Isaiah 24. Right? The Lord is going to punish the host of the high ones, Esau, Edom. Yahushua is coming back to take the heathen, destroy the strength of the kingdoms, plural, of the heathen. Those four major empires that's been ruling for 2,000 years. The Gentiles. Yahushua is coming back to take them out of power. So what is he talking about? That they're going to rule with us, even though they ruled for 2,000 years? Are you stupid? And I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them, and the horses and their riders shall come down, everyone by the sword of his brother. This is what Yahushua coming back to do. Take down those four major empires. Primarily the fourth, Esau, Edom, the white man. The modern day Romans, the same goddamn people, man. Zechariah 1 and 18. Then lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, four horns, the four empires, the four major empires, the four beasts. Okay, that same statue. Right now, we're in that fourth horn that Yahushua is coming back to destroy, to take out of power. Okay, and set up his kingdom. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns, these are the four horns, the four empires which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. Because again, we were captive under all these empires. Babylon carried us captive, scattered us. The Persians did. The Greeks definitely did. And we know the Romans did. 70 AD, right? Under the Romans. And the Lord showed me four carpenters, which represent angels. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake and said, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these carpenters, are come to fray them, to destroy them. Here's the point. To cast out the horns of the Gentiles. Yahushua is coming back to take the horn, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles. To take them out of power. The Gentiles have been ruling for 2,000 years over Israel, crushing us. He's coming back to take them out of power. So what do you mean they're going to rule with us, dummy? Which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter. And a horn represents power. Horn represents power. He's coming back to take the power, to take them out of power, man. To cast out the power of the Gentiles. So these men don't know prophecy. This nigga don't know prophecy, man. This monkey head, man. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Okay? So they don't know prophecy, man. Now let's get real. Let's get gritty right now. Amos 9. Let's talk about the kingdom, right? The restoration of Israel. So even scholars know this is end time prophecy we're about to read. Now, when you read Psalm 89, right? Psalm 89 is a very important chapter in order to understand prophecy, the kingdom. Psalms 89, right? 2 Samuel 7, the tabernacle of David. It's very important to understand what David did, you know, his kingdom, right? David's kingdom around 1000 BC, because the kingdom of heaven is David's kingdom, right? When David was ruling, the kingdom of heaven is basically, all right, David's kingdom was basically a foreshadowing of the kingdom of heaven. And I'm going to prove it to you, right? So when you read Psalm 89, David's kingdom, right? The tabernacle of David is fallen, right? After David, died, Solomon ruled in his stead. When Solomon died, because, the sins that Solomon did with, worshiping the idols, all right? What happened? Because of that, Israel was basically, we were carried away captive by all the goddamn nations. And we split into two kingdoms, the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. We split into two nations, man. Okay, so it's all been downhill from then. But remember, right? What did the Lord promise? This is Amos 9 and 11, right? Because so the tabernacle of David, his kingdom, right, is fallen. It's broken apart. It's fallen. But watch this. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I'll raise up his ruins, and I will build it. Here's the key. As in the days of old. Stop. This is a prophecy. This is why when you go to Luke 1, right? Luke 1, what does the angel tell Mary? Luke 1 and 33 about Yahushua. And he, start at verse 32. He, Yahushua, shall be great. You can start at verse 31, but I want to get to the point. And shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him, what the Lord going to give unto the Messiah? The throne of his father David. Yahushua is coming back to again establish the throne of David, his kingdom, the tabernacle of David, as in the days of old, meaning the kingdom of heaven is going to be the same exact way that it was when David was ruling. Isaiah 9 and 6, he's going to take the throne from David, same thing, right? And the disciples, they asked Yahushua about the throne of David, right? Meaning what? They knew the prophecy, the very first chapter in Acts. They knew the prophecy of Amos. Acts 1. What did they ask the Messiah? When they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time, right now, restore again the kingdom to Israel? What kingdom were they talking about? The tabernacle of David. When you go into the Greek word for restore, again, meaning again, to restore to its former estate. You see? Reconstitute. This is what they're asking him. Acts 3 and 21. And this is the New Testament. They don't even know prophecy or the New Testament. Whom the heaven must receive until let's start at verse 20. And he shall send Yahushua Mashiach, which before was preached unto you, whom the heaven must receive until the times of restitution, restoration of all things. Restitution of what? The tabernacle of David, which God has spoken by the mouth, all his holy prophets of the world began, like Amos. So the disciples, which became apostles and prophets, understood this. They understand the kingdom of heaven is the Messiah coming back on the earth at his second coming, destroying the kingdoms of the heathen, taking the literal Gentiles out of power, and then restoring, reconstituting, rebuilding David's kingdom the same way it was back then. Amos 9 and 11, again, in that day, when he sends Yahushua back, will I raise up the tabernacle of David that has fallen and close up the breaches thereof, and I'll raise up his ruins as in the days of old. In the NIV, in that day I'll restore David's fallen shelter, I'll repair its broken walls, and restore its ruins, and will rebuild it as it used to be. You see? So the kingdom of heaven is going to be the tabernacle of David. Rebuild it, man. The same way it was in the past when David was on the throne. So what was it like when David was on the throne? Let's read it. Now you can primarily read about it in 2 Samuel, the 8th chapter. David stomped all the nations into slavery. That's the kingdom of heaven. So let's read the kingdom of heaven. Psalm 18 and 40. This is David. Thou hast given me the necks of mine enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. Then did David do what? I beat them small as the dust before the wind. I did cast them out as the dirt, in the streets. See that? Thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head, the ruler of the heathen. That's why Yahushua said in Revelation 2, right? He that overcome, I will give you power over the other nations, and you will break them, because that's what David did. And he primarily, in Revelation 2, quoted Psalm chapter 2, which said the same thing, but instead of saying nations, it says the heathen, which how we know the heathen will be slaves getting their ass beat, man, down the chaff. Precept upon precept, that's how you can understand it, right? That's how we know the nations. Revelation 2 is not talking about unbelievers, that's false doctrine. It's talking about the heathen. Thou hast made me the ruler, the chief of the heathen. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear of me, they shall obey me. The strangers, non-Israelites, shall submit themselves unto me. The strangers shall fade away and be afraid out of their closed places. Because this is what David did. Isaiah 60, which that whole chapter is talking about the kingdom of heaven. Right? Verse 10. Remember, David did what to the strangers? Beat them down. Made them obey him, right? And the sons of strangers. This is the kingdom. You can't see how it's just repeating what was already done. Shall build up your walls, and their king shall minister unto you. Now, Revelation 5 and 10 says we shall be kings and priests. So who are these kings that's going to serve us? Isaiah 49. Who are the kings that's going to bow down and worship us? Right? Psalm 149. We're going to put the kings in slavery. The kings of the other nations, the non-Israelites, in slavery. Who are those kings that are going to go into slavery if everybody's going to be kings together? Do you see how their doctrine doesn't make sense? Because it's false doctrine. How are we going to put the non-Israelite kings into chains, slavery, but we're all going to be kings together? You fucking idiot. Kings shall minister unto you. For my wrath I smote you, but in my favor have I had mercy. Right, the Lord smote us. Put us in captivity. Let us be subject to these heathen. But he's going to have favor on us, man, with mercy. Therefore, your gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night. Why? That men may bring unto you the forces, the abundance, the wealth of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. Right, we're going to take their wealth. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish. Serve, slavery. Yeah, those nations, plural, shall be utterly wasted. Daniel 7. So, like, I don't understand you morons, man. Verse 27. And the kingdom and dominion and greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to who? The people of the saints of the Most High. Who are the saints? The saints are the same people that made a covenant with the Lord with Moses. Right? We know the Canaanites weren't there. Nobody was there but Israel. Lord told us not to make a covenant with the Canaanites, man. So the saints are the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. Here's the point. And all dominions shall serve and obey him. So it's like serve and these nations are going to be it's in slavery. You know? So I don't understand, man. I don't get it. You niggas don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You see? That's the kingdom of heaven, man. The same way it was before, which is what? And even David himself is going to be our king in the kingdom, man. He's going to be our prince. And Yahushua is going to be over him. Remember, he's going to take the throne of David. So Yahushua is coming back to rebuild, man. Rebuild the tabernacle of David the same exact way it was before. Now let's go to Revelation 5. We got all the precepts that we needed. All right? That's the kingdom of heaven. Now before, what did David do? He beat them down to dust. That's why Micah 4 says in the kingdom, we're going to beat in pieces many people. David did it. The kingdom of heaven is, again, the re-establishment of the tabernacle of David, the same exact way it was before. Yahushua is going to come back and rebuild the kingdom, David's kingdom, the same exact way. That's the key. When it's rebuilt, it's not going to have new touches. It's going to be the same way it was before. The Israelites ruling and the nations in slavery, beating them down to chaff. 2 Samuel, the entire 8th chapter, my man. You know? Now let's go to Revelation 5. So we got all the precepts we needed, right? Verse 9. Now I could really go into deep depth into this. Maybe another video. But, you know, I'll goddamn just get to the point. And they sung a new song saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and open the seal thereof. The same book that's only for Israel, right? For thou wast slain and redeemed us to God, right? He purchased us to God by our blood. No, by his blood, excuse me. Out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. Right, so basically, all right, I can go into very deep depth, pulling precepts, but I want to get to the point because, you know, my throat's kind of hurting. You know, that's the sacrifices we make in this truth, cussing these niggas out in these false doctrines. Redeemed means purchased. Isaiah 52, either verse 3, 4, or 5. Who was purchased? Jerusalem, right? It talks about how basically Jerusalem, the Israelites, will be purchased, redeemed without money, but not with money. So again, the Israelites, Jerusalem, were not purchased with money. So what were we purchased with? 1 Peter 1, around verse 16 or 18 or 17. We were purchased with the blood of Yahushua. Back to the Most High. Simple, right? By thy blood, Yahushua, but out of every kindred, the Greek word for kindred, phule. All the people that descend from Jacob, the 12 tribes, and tongue of people and nation, right? Why? Genesis 28. The Most High told Jacob his seed was spread abroad, north, east, west, and south. The scattering. I mean, this is just so easy, man. And has made us unto our God, made us unto our God, the God of Israel, none else, right? Joel 2. Kings and priests. Stop. again, who are the kings that we're going to put in slavery in the kingdom? Psalm 149. If everybody's going to be kings together. You see how this doctrine doesn't add up? It doesn't add up, man. Who are the kings that's going to bow down to us and serve and worship us, man? In Isaiah 49, Isaiah 60, and obey us. You see? So you don't know what you're talking about. Kings and priests. Now, let's go to Romans 9. You can't be a priest unless you're an Israelite by DNA. So how are these all, right? How are these all types of people if you can't be a priest unless you're an Israelite? You see how it's so, oh my God, man. Romans 9:3. If I could wish that myself were accursed from Hamashiach for my brethren, my kingdom according to the flesh. So these are Israelites according to the flesh. DNA, descendancy, seed. Who are Israelites to whom belong the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of law. Here's the point. And the service of God. So the service of God belongs to the Israelites according to the flesh. You cannot, these things that Paul is listing off, you cannot take hold of these things unless you are an Israelite according to the flesh. What is the service of God? Go into the Greek and study, right? Service, latria, service. The service and worship of God according to the requirements of the Levitical law. The priesthood, right? Under the old covenant, only a Levite could be a priest and a high priest. But in the kingdom, men from all 12 tribes are going to be priests, man. Okay? The priesthood. You can't be a priest unless you are an Israelite by flesh, DNA. Which makes sense because why are we going to be called priests, right? It goes back to Exodus 19. Thou shalt be unto me a kingdom of priests above all nations. Why are we going to be priests, right? Isaiah 2 and Micah 4. Priests teach the law, statutes, and commandments. We are going to teach the other nations the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord, man. So you see how they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Let's just keep it simple. How are the Gentiles going to be priests in the kingdom, teaching the laws when they don't know the law? How? When they're the ones coming to, the Gentiles are going to come to Jerusalem to learn the law, but they're going to be teaching it? Psalm 147 and 19. He has revealed his word to Jacob, his laws and decrees to Israel. He has done this for no other nation. They do not know his laws. How are the literal Gentiles, man? I'm really starting to get angry. How are the literal Gentiles going to be priests teaching the laws in the kingdom when they don't know the law? And how are they going to be priests when you can't be a priest unless you are an Israelite? How? Doesn't make sense, man. So again, these people, they have no clue what they are talking about, man. Sorry, I was cut off. But as I was saying, how is everybody, how? So that's two strikes. The nations don't know the law. That's why Isaiah 2, we're going to teach them the laws in the kingdom. Hence why we're going to be called priests. So you can't be a priest unless you're an Israelite, right? And how are they going to be priests teaching the law if they don't know? You can't, it doesn't make sense. Those two strikes right there. So we shall be priests teaching the law to the other nations that's going to come to Jerusalem. And we shall reign on the earth. You see how even when you read, right? It's like, oh my God, man, these niggas are so stupid. We shall reign on the earth. What are we reigning over? Reign over who? Over what? Are we going to reign over unbelievers? All the believers in Christ are going to reign over unbelievers? Nope. Remember, the same way it was before. David ruling over the nations. Deuteronomy 15 and verse. Who are we going to reign over, man? 6. Right now we're under the curses, but when Yahushua come back, he's going to take the curses off of us and put the blessings on us. For the Lord thy God blesseth you as he promised you. Right, Romans 9, the promises belong to Israel. Can't make this up, precept on precept. And thou shalt lend unto many nations, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign, you shall reign on the earth over who? Over many nations, but they shall not reign over you. The kingdom of heaven is Israel ruling over the nations under David, and David under Yahushua, and Yahushua under the Most High, the same way it was back then. Yahushua come out to take the heathen out of power that have been ruling for 2,000 years. Simply. When you read Revelation 5, what are you talking about? And Revelation 5 repeats Isaiah 66. I'm gonna get that for you, all right? And again, I said I can go really deep with this. My fucking throat is killing me, man. And has made us unto our God kings. Okay? Let's get Genesis 32. kings, right? You're not gonna be no damn king. Esau's not gonna be a king. He's a king right now, in his kingdom, in wickedness. He's not gonna be a damn king in a kingdom. Remember, the Lord's remove kings and set up kings, right? That's Daniel 2, probably like verse 21 maybe. The Most High pulls down one king and sets up another in their stead. Okay, let me get another precept for that. That Apocrypha. It's never, the Lord doesn't change. Paul said all things that was written for our learning. The Lord puts one nation up to rule and then pulls them down and puts up another. Okay, so again, Esau, which is that one king that's ruling right now, the white man, Yahushua coming back to pull him out of power and to set up Jacob, one king, one prince. We're going to read that, which we already did in 2 Ezra 6 and 9, but we're going to get another one. Ecclesiasticus 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, so-called white man, injuries, and riches got by deceit, right, lying, whitewashing, the kingdom is translated, right, from one people to another. Was that one people, as of today, Esau, Edom, to another, to Jacob. Esau the end, right, 1 Corinthians 15:24, and Jacob comes after. One after another. The same way Babylon was one, pulled down after another. Persia. It's the same thing. Genesis 32, we shall be kings and priests, right? Now this is when Jacob, literal Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel, right? Because he got the blessing after wrestling the angel at Peniel, right? What was that blessing, right? Verse 28. And he said, thy name, this is the blessing that he got, which is passed down to the 12 tribes, shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, which means Yashar-Allah, a prince of the power. Of the power meaning the Most High. Who's the prince of God? The 12 tribes. For as a prince hast thou power with God and with men, and has prevailed. So again, the only kings in the earth is going to be Jacob, the 12 tribes. You see? And again, who are the kings that we're going to put in slavery and chains? So these niggas don't know what they're talking about. And has made us unto our God, the God of Israel, none else, kings and priests. You can't be a priest unless you're an Israelite. And how the literal Gentiles are going to be priests when they don't know the law? How they going to be teaching the law? Now you might have an asshole say, well, you know, first we're going to teach the Gentiles the law, and then once they learn it, then they're going to become priests. But you can't be a priest unless you're an Israelite. And remember, really, that's 3 strikes. Remember, right? As in the days of old. When David was ruling, were there Gentile priests? Nope. So you still lose. And we shall reign on the earth over many nations. The blessings of Deuteronomy is going to take hold of us, and the curses are going to be off of us, right? And then you also have to explain Deuteronomy 30 and verse 7. When Yahushua take the curses off of us and put the blessings on us, he's going to put those curses on the other nations. Dummy. Which is why we're going to rule over them. A part of the curses is being ruled over, man. That's why we're captives here in America and have been captives to the other nations. You see? You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make this up. A part of the curses is being ruled over. We're going to rule over them. Yahushua going to put those curses on the goddamn nations. So, hey, man, I don't get it. Now let's get Isaiah 66. Revelation 5 is repeating Isaiah 66. Right? You have redeemed us to God out of every nation, kindred, and tongue, and we shall be kings and priests. Who is that talking about? Isaiah 66. So slow. Verse 19. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them, these are Israelites, that escape the destruction, right? Unto the nations, to Tarshish, Spain, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles of far off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles, right? The Lord's going to send these Israelites to the other nations, right? To do what? And they shall bring all your brethren, other Israelites, for an offering unto the Lord, out of all nations. Wait a minute. So the Lord's going to send these Israelites, that escaped the destruction, the nuclear destruction. Okay? Which essentially, I mean, really, you could say it like the elect. But he's going to send them to all nations to bring other Israelites out of these nations, right? Upon horses and in chariots and in leaders, and upon mules and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem. So we're going to bring them out of all these nations back to Jerusalem, back to their holy land. Saith the Lord, as the children of Israel bring an offering and a clean vessel into the house of the Lord. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith the Lord. So the Lord's going to send Israelites to all other nations to bring all these scattered Israelites out of these nations back to Jerusalem, and the Lord's going to make them priests. That's what Revelation 5 is talking about, man. Israelites coming out of every nation back to Jerusalem and to become priests, teaching the other literal non-Israelites the laws. You can't make this shit up, man. You can't make it up. So stupid, so fucking dumb and ignorant. And I can't wait until judgment falls on the heads of these niggas that preach false doctrine, man. Peter said it best. They who twist the scriptures, twist it unto their own destruction. See? So, I mean, again, and it all goes back to Exodus 19 as well. So, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Lord willing, edified. Lord willing, you see me in the next one. This is the kingdom of heaven, man. And for that, I'm going to say a strong shalom, man. Shalom. Let me play this stupid-ass video one more time. What a dumbass.
The kingdom that have that rulership is made up of all types of nations. But then they sang a new song saying, worthy are you to take the scroll and to open its seals because you were...
I don't want to hear this dumb nigga no more. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Lord willing, edified. His voice pissed me off. Lord willing, you see me in the next one, man. Shalom, man. Strong shalom, citizens. Hopefully like that out there. Shalom, man.